The color of choice. Choice number 5, a desired pregnancy. Once I was in Italy and Fabio and I had a serious quarrel. The reason was his selfishness and narcissism. I had a friend named Tommaso. When he learned about our argument, he invited me and my daughter to stay in his apartment. He began organizing small parties and introducing me to new people, trying to support me. At one of those parties in his home, I met Silvio. Tommaso, by the way, recommended another man to me. That man was younger than me, but I was afraid he would turn out to be irresponsible. I was afraid to repeat my experience with Fabio, so I chose Silvio, who seemed to me more serious and responsible. In reality, everything turned out the opposite. The young man Tommaso recommended soon married, and even married a woman older than himself. Silvio, however, did not marry for many years. But at that time, I did not know this. I began a relationship with Silvio. I chose him with my mind, not with my heart. I thought he was not exactly my type of man, but he seemed serious and responsible. I believed that with him, I could finally build a life in Italy. We started seeing each other and traveling to visit one another. Once he came to visit me for my birthday. He gave me a pendant with a diamond on a platinum chain. It was an expensive gift. We organized a big party. By that time, Tommaso had already proposed to Oksana, whom I had introduced to him. He even encouraged Silvio to propose to me and give me a diamond ring. Silvio did not give me a ring, but he gave me the diamond pendant. I took this as a serious step. The party, the gift, many friends. It all felt almost like an engagement. After the party, we were intimate. I told him that we should not, but he did not listen and did not use protection. As a result, I became pregnant. For 3 years, I had dreamed of having a child, but there had been no man with whom I could build a family. My maternal instinct had already awakened, and I deeply wanted a child. That night, I felt happy. It seemed to me that conception had happened. I did not sleep until morning. I felt a special kind of bliss. Sometime later, I discovered that I was indeed pregnant. I told Silvio. He was so shocked that he even became physically sick from stress. At first, he agreed. He even began making plans for my move to Italy with my daughter. But later, he changed his mind and refused. In the end, I remained alone, a single mother with 2 children. The positive side of this choice is that I gave birth to a beautiful Italian girl who brings joy into my life. The negative side is that I remained alone and experienced deep pain from being abandoned while pregnant. I never imagined something like that could happen to me. It felt like something that only happens in movies. At the same time, I experienced 2 feelings: happiness from the birth of my child and pain from being left alone. Sometimes I wonder, was this choice from God or from the serpent? In some ways, it feels like it was from the serpent because I chose Silvio with my mind rather than my heart. Would I make the same choice today? Of course not. I would not choose Silvio. But then my wonderful daughter would not exist. So the answer is not so simple. Silvio brought me much suffering, but because of this story, my daughter came into my life. If I were to name the color of this choice, I would call it soft pink, the color of love, pain, and new life.